was an amazing performance by Bird. As you said, Al, he wasn't around long, but while he was in the game, he got the Celtics a big early lead.
The Nuggets have now lost 5 straight. The Timberwolves coming off the road, in which they have lost their last 5 in a row. But Minnesota will be playing 9 of their next 10 games at home, where they are 500, 11-11.
And the bad news for the Nuggets, even though the T-Wolves have lost 5 in a row, they've won 3 in a row here in the Target Center.
Beating teams like Golden State, Utah, and Philadelphia in a double overtime ball game. Those are the first 3 games the Wolves have won this year against 500 teams. The rookie from Louisville, the 6th pick in the first round, Big Felton Spencer, will be jumping up against Orlando Woolridge. And Pooh Richardson runs it down. Richardson guarded by Jackson. The Nuggets come in with a record of 14-35. Minnesota's won 16 and lost 33. Tyrone Corbin, who has been on a scoring bench. The tip, and it's swept away by Williams. Jackson one-on-one with Pooh Richardson. Over him, and no good. And it's pulled down by Murphy, a late insert into the starting lineup. Instead of Sam Mitchell, Richardson off the glass.
Pooh Richardson's been outstanding against the Nuggets in the 2 games. Al, he's averaged 21 points and 8 rebounds a game. He's quickly becoming one of the better young point guards in the entire NBA.
Pooh Richardson, who led a near mutiny against Coach Bill Musselman, and has had Musselman actually open up the Minnesota game. Orlando Woolridge, the last 3 games, he has been the Nuggets' leading scorer. So he is coming back from missing 2 months of play, and now back in his rightful spot as the high scorer on Denver.
I would think that was why Todd Murphy got the start. Probably a little better defensive player against Orlando than is Sam Mitchell.
Richardson will try to go to work against Chris Jackson, and he has hit 2 of 2. Pooh Richardson, who has scored 30 or more 5 times since the new year has turned, and the foul is called on Murphy.
2 of the more contrasting styles in the entire league, Al. Of course, the Nuggets are going to rush it down and take the first available shot to them. The Timberwolves, for the most part, will come down, work the shot clock, get it down under 10 seconds before they even think about taking a shot.
Although Pooh Richardson led several Minnesota Timberwolves, they voiced their unhappiness over the Musselman iron-fisted approach, and since then Musselman has eased up and revved up the offense. Minnesota is averaging around 98 points a game, but since the change, which came December 30th, the 23 games since, they're scoring 106 points per, and they are led by Pooh Richardson. And Pooh's pick was booed last year, the 10th pick in the draft. They figured that Pooh Richardson should not have gone that high, but he has really taken charge here in Minnesota. Rasmussen knocks it away. It's regained by Spencer. Corbin takes the outside shot. Tyrone Corbin, who's averaging just under 19 a game, is known for his inside ball game, but here at the outset taking a few from the outside, and Chris Jackson nails that deep shot.
Chris, in the 4 games that he's been playing in place of Michael Adams, averaging about 22.5 points a game, so he's putting some numbers on the board.
Yeah, but he is taking about that many shots to get it. Campbell wide open. There is Corbin. Blocked and a foul. Blair Rasmussen does not like the call by Joe Borgia. Foul number 1 on Rasmussen.
Tyrone Corbin, one of the better offensive rebounding forwards in the league, and you can see nobody put a body on him. Going to have to block him off the board. Might have caught Blair's knee in his thigh because Tyrone came out of that encounter limping to the free throw line.
Out of DePaul, Tyrone Corbin is the lone survivor from the expansion draft selected by Minnesota, and he was a good one that Phoenix let get away.
Phoenix certainly didn't want to let Corbin go, but they had so many young players they needed to protect. He was one that they had to hang out there, and Minnesota picked him in a hurry.
8-6, the Timberwolves lead the Nuggets. There's a force by Williams, but he draws the foul. Both Campbell and Spencer were there. And the foul will be called on Tony Campbell.
In the game against the Celtics yesterday afternoon, Reggie Williams got off to a terrible start, hit only 1 of his first 10 attempts, but then was 6 of 8 the rest of the way and did wind up with 19 points and 8 rebounds. Those are Reggie's overall numbers since becoming a Denver Nugget, averaging about 16 points a game.
One of his first big games since joining the Nuggets was against Minnesota. Stepped right in and he scored 21 points against the Timberwolves. Williams ties it up. The Nuggets with a little more pressure. Down court it goes to Campbell. He stops and pops and hits. Tony Campbell, who's been the subject of many trade rumors. He has already come out and said he would like to go to the New York Knicks. He grew up in the New York area. Could be playing one of his final games with the Timberwolves. Trade deadline is Thursday. The basket will count. The foul was before, but they charge Orlando Woolridge with the goaltend.
Well, they're going to say the ball was on the way down. Let's see. That might have been a pretty good call. And Corbin calling for the basket, and he got it.
Corbin last week in a game against the Lakers had 7 steals. All-around ball player and really putting up his best numbers of his career. Williams, the 3. Wolf with the tip. And from behind, Joe Wolf is hammered. The call will go against the rookie. Big Felton Spencer from Louisville at 7 feet, 265 pounds. And he gets the call. Originally, Randy Brewer was scheduled to start. Bill Musselman going with the big rookie instead. Hefty rookie. He was the 6th pick in the draft, and another pick that was questioned. But Musselman just went back to last year and said, hey, look what I did with Pooh Richardson. Give me some time with Spencer. Williams fakes the 3, 2 on the shot clock. The force by Wolf, and Corbin gets inside of Rasmussen. Richardson on the run. Corbin stops, he pops, and he hits. It is the Tyrone Corbin show. In the first quarter, he has 8 of the Timberwolves' 14.
Tyrone got out, filled the wing, and stopped and popped over Blair.
Chris Jackson, a nice crossover move, and he has had 2 outside shots. 14-10 in favor of Minnesota. The Timberwolves looking for their first win ever against the Nuggets after 7 straight defeats. Spencer off glass. Not pretty, but it counts for 2. 16-10 in favor of the Timberwolves. It would have counted. Spencer gets his 2nd foul. Now that is a problem for Felton Spencer. The foul situation.
Well, Musselman's up complaining about this call, and he might have a point. It looked like Orlando was the one who initiated the contact. Spencer just standing there with his arms in the air, but Orlando, an 80% free throw shooter, goes to the line for 2.
Spencer has fouled out in 12 games this year. That's 1 behind Blair Rasmussen. Orlando Woolridge, 23 against the Celtics yesterday. And in his 4 games back, that's what he is averaging. 16-12 in favor of Minnesota. Again, the Nuggets press. Tony Campbell. It was played guard and forward for Minnesota. Campbell wants it back. He gets it back and hits.
You talked about the trade rumors the last time out against the Utah Jazz. Campbell not even in the starting lineup, but he came off the bench to score 25 points and make that close. The Jazz won by 8.
Rasmussen. And there is one man who is missing Michael Adams. Michael always has a way of finding Blair Rasmussen at his spot for open jumpers. Blair just not seeing the ball offensively as much. Wolf fights his own man. They get it in the hands of Jackson. Jackson's the man who said we need more ball movement, and there he puts it right up without moving it, but he hits the shot.
So far the movement has been from Chris's hand to the basket.
Nuggets cut the deficit to 2. Reggie Williams right on the hand of Tony Campbell, and it's the 2nd foul on Reggie Williams. A very aggressive defensive player. Williams often in foul trouble. Timeout in Minnesota. We rejoin Tony Campbell at the foul line, where he has missed for the first time in 12 attempts. He came into this game having hit all 11 foul shots in Utah on Saturday. 5 points for Tony Campbell. Minnesota has a 3-point lead. We have played nearly 5.5 minutes of this game, and neither team has yet to turn the ball over. Campbell bringing it out. The former Los Angeles Laker picked up as a free agent here with Minnesota. Last year, the Timberwolves' leading scorer at 23 a game. Reaching in was Chris Jackson, and he has his first foul.
That's a tough matchup for Chris Jackson. The defense got a little switched around. Jackson, instead of being on Pooh Richardson, was on Campbell. And as you said earlier, Al, Campbell really more of a small forward than a guard, and difficult assignment for Chris.
Campbell spent 3 years in Detroit. He was the 20th pick in the first round. He was a free agent, tried out for Washington and was cut, sat on the bench with Los Angeles, and then picked up by Minnesota.
If you look at the Nuggets offense early on, Al, an attempt to get more movement, it looks like Coach Westhead has got the players setting a lot more screens, trying to pick and free one another instead of just standing on the perimeter.
Jackson is at 4 of his first 5 shots. Timberwolves move the ball around on the perimeter. 6 minutes to go in the first. Gorman. Spencer reaching over Rasmussen. Offensive boards owned by Minnesota. Number 42, Sam Mitchell, is checked in for Todd Murphy. Pooh Richardson.
And Mitchell has killed the Nuggets in the 2 games this year. He's averaging 23 points and 7 rebounds a game.
Sam Mitchell, who recently played an entire double overtime game, 58 minutes. Reggie Williams throws it away. He was looking for Chris Jackson. That's the first turnover in the ball game. Richardson with the moves for the fadeaway. And Rasmussen fouled from behind. And I believe it's on Spencer. If it is, he has played himself to the bench quickly. That would be his 3rd personal foul. Yes, it is. And Jerome Lane makes an early appearance tonight, coming in here in the first quarter.
Jerome only 9 minutes against the Celtics Sunday, and most of those long after the game had been decided. And tonight, he's the first player off the bench.
Spencer will have a seat. And 7'3" Randy Brewer, once started at the University of Minnesota, is in the line.
You talked about Blair missing Michael Adams. It's good news, bad news. Over the last 5 games, Blair shooting 54% from the field, but he's only gotten 10 shots a game.
Campbell being chased by Lane. 5 minutes, 10 seconds to go in the first quarter at the Pack Target Center in Minneapolis. Al Albert along with the horse, Dennis, and at courtside. Brewer very mechanical, and Woolridge comes out of nowhere to reject that shot. Amazing how slowly Brewer's moving, and he gets the shot off.
That's a great description. It looks like he's practicing in slow motion a low post move he learned at basketball camp.
Did we slow that replay down, or was that the regular move? Over the top, and the call is made by Joe Forte.
It goes against Orlando, and that's going to be team foul number 5 on the Nuggets. So Sam Mitchell will go to the free throw line.
Minnesota last year in their first season won 22 games, lost 60, 22 wins. Quite an accomplishment for an expansion team, doing it by slowing the game down. This year they're trying to up tempo a little more. They are 6 shy of that 22 mark. And should be able to pass that. Their goal has been to win 30. 4-point lead for the Timberwolves. It will be Nugget ball. Bill Musselman, tough, intense, feisty. Second year here with the Timberwolves. He won 4 consecutive CBA championships. Coached a couple of years in the ABA. Also coached Cleveland in the early 80s in the NBA, those chaotic years. Williams off the screen. Swish. First field goal for Reggie Williams, and the Nuggets are just 2 behind. Close game all the way. With 4:20 left in the first quarter. Nuggets home Thursday night against the Portland Trailblazers. There's the steal, and Jackson from behind is hit by Randy Brewer.
Outstanding defensive play by Reggie Williams that time as Campbell cut across the middle. Williams able to get around over the shoulder. Campbell coming down the middle, and without fouling, Reggie Williams reaches around and knocks the ball away.
Jackson has been dialing it up from long distance. He was 10 of 21 against the Celtics. Did end up with 20 points, but never went to the foul line. He's an 86% shooter from the line. Chris Jackson, 17 starts this year. He's averaging 21 points a game, and he becomes the first man to hit double figures. A steal by Williams. The game is tied at 23. Woolridge likes the chances against the bigger Brewer, and Denver has the lead.
I really don't think the Timberwolves have a player that can stay with Orlando inside. And his outside shot hasn't returned, but ever since the first game back, he's been able to take it to the basket.
Campbell wraps it up. 9 points for Tony Campbell, who averages 20 per, the leading scorer on this ball club. Woolridge again taking it in, gets the double team. Brewer tips, but Corbin can't connect. Corbin probably would give Woolridge the most trouble. Best defensive player, but he also would give away 3 inches to Orlando Woolridge. 3.5 minutes to go in the first. It's Jackson going all the way in this first quarter, along with Williams, Rasmussen, and Woolridge, and Jerome Lane. Jackson gets his shot. And there's Jerome Lane for the tip. And Jerome Lane has to be thinking about Thursday, the trading deadline. His name has certainly been bannered about, but he gets a chance here to try to show his wares early. 25-25 is the score. Campbell, the fake, and he hits. And if it's the foul on Williams, it's his third.
One of the first lessons you learn about defense is to keep your feet on the floor. When you get in the air defensively, you're in big trouble. Campbell with a fake here. Williams is in the air, and then he follows it up, scores, and goes to the line. And Reggie Williams in early foul trouble.
Campbell has played the Nuggets just once this year, scored 24 points in the first game. Did not play the second game because of a sprained ankle. Woolridge now gets a rest. Anthony Cook checks in for the first time. One-on-one with Sam Mitchell. 1-point lead for Minnesota. 2:50 remains in the first. Williams goes in against Campbell. Swoops to the hoop. Gets his own rebound. No foul. Minnesota down floor. It is Richardson.
Richardson had the angle to the basket the entire way. Not much Jackson could do about it. Couldn't catch up.
Jackson, flick of the wrist. And Mitchell in the crowd saves it off of Blair Rasmussen. There will be a timeout called with 2:19 left in the first quarter in Minnesota. And the T-Wolves by 3.
A chance to win a championship.
It's 32-27 in favor of the Timberwolves. Marcus Liberty checks in for the Nuggets. He's up front. Or actually in the backcourt with Jackson, who's gone all the way. Blair Rasmussen in the middle. Anthony Cook, Jerome Lane at the forwards. Rasmussen and Jackson have played the entire first quarter. Shot clock goes off, and we have a whistle. It'll be a violation, which actually saves the Nuggets there from a fast break hoop by Minnesota.
That was a big break for the Nuggets because Tony Campbell was off to the races and would have had an easy layup had Bruce Alexander not called the 24-second violation.
Craig Neal checks in for the Nuggets. And also a chance for the first time to see first-round draft pick out of Mississippi, Gerald Bass. Already a favorite here. He averaged 24 points in Ole Miss. Built along the lines of Mark Aguirre. Big first step for Bass. From the corner, Murphy tries again. And now it is Craig Neal, who is drawing closer to the end of his 10-day contract. He has one more game after this one, Thursday, against the Blazers to prove himself. Rasmussen pulls the trigger. Upstairs goes Cook, but he timed it incorrectly. And Sam Mitchell has the rebound.
Two former CBAers going at it, Neal and Scotty Brooks.
Brooks, who played for Musselman in the CBA, and he just kind of gets in your face. He is called for the foul. He was picked up by Musselman from Philadelphia in return for a second-round pick. Scrappy, 5'11", Scott Brooks out of UC Irvine. Matter of fact, Minnesota has kind of cornered the Anteater market with Scott Brooks, Todd Murphy, also from UC Irvine, and Bob Fulton, who at the moment on the injured list.
And why don't they sign Wayne Inglestown? Did he play there as well? Former Nugget?
I think they have a problem with his agent. Just can't reach an agreement. Craig Neal with a foul shot. And it's 2 points for Craig Neal. Under a minute to go in the first quarter. Glass to the move. And the hoop.
Gerald Glass had a big game the last time against the Nuggets. 17 points and 7 rebounds. Neal a little bit out of control.
Jerome Lane with a floater. And we're down to 36 seconds. A high-scoring affair for the Minnesota Timberwolves. They average just 106 points a game over the last 23, but overall just 98 a game. There's Glass again. Todd Murphy with a putback. Murphy with his size has hurt the Nuggets in the past. Another former CBA player under Musselman. Swish. Joe Wolf from the outside. It's 36-33 Minnesota, and they'll work for the last shot of the first quarter. Brooks wheeling and dealing and hitting, and is fouled.
And Scotty Brooks over giving high fives to the people in the front row. That's a pretty nice move for the little guy.
Well, when you don't score it that often, it is a reason to celebrate.
Nice pick by Felton Spencer in the spin move against Joe Wolf. Nice angle off the glass, and Brooks a chance for the three-point play.
Nuggets have 3 seconds to rush it down. Neal dribbles for the 3 seconds. That ends the first quarter of play. And the Minnesota Timberwolves, this has to be record proportions, scored 39 in the first quarter. But the Nuggets are right behind with 33.
Painting the first pick in this round, this year's draft.
Actually, after the Nuggets had won those 6 in a row, they had passed about 5 or 6 teams. Starting the second quarter, the 39 points for Minnesota in the first period was their franchise record for most points out of the gate in a first quarter. Chris Jackson, and Glass goes upstairs to sweep it off the boards. Mitchell double team. Nuggets now running around on defense, trying to help out. Felton Spencer is in with 3 fouls. Traveling violation is called. So Bill Musselman taking a chance. And the rookie center starting tonight, Spencer, back in the lineup with the 3 personals. Joe Wolf lets it fly.
Well, sooner or later, the big guy's going to have to learn to play and stay out of foul trouble. I guess Coach Musselman figures tonight as good a night as any.
The foul is on to the Nuggets' kamikaze kid, Craig Neal, who has been sweeping every floor he's been playing on in the NBA, but that's the kind of enthusiasm that the Nuggets need right now.
And that's the way you gain a general manager or a coach's attention when you're only up here for 10 days.
At times, Craig a little out of control, but he certainly has the right idea to make things happen. Mitchell. And Spencer inside gets position on Rasmussen. And Spencer gets the bucket, his second of the night. And it's the biggest lead for Minnesota, 8 points. Rasmussen gets the 2 back. A minute 15 into the second period. Brooks for 3. He certainly is a threat from there. That's his 18th of the season in 56 attempts. Woolridge from the outside. Rasmussen keeps it alive, and he is then taken down by the little man, Scott Brooks. Brooks thought nobody was looking. Almost took Blair Rasmussen's arm off.
Well, what Scott was trying to do, Blair jumps on his back, and Brooks trying to show the official right there, Blair over the back, and Brooks just held on.
Make a wish. Nuggets get the ball back. Trailing it by 9 in Minnesota. Denver has never lost to the Timberwolves. Jackson with a fake gets the shot, but now cannot connect. Jackson again. He fires. Swish. 12 points for Chris Jackson. He made 4 of his first 5 shots, and he missed 4 in a row.
And on 2 occasions that trip, Blair able to keep the ball alive with the offensive rebound.
They call the blocking foul on Neal. So it's Craig Neal's second personal foul.
Craig a little upset with both of these calls. He thought he had position at drawing the charge, but still moving on that one.
2 minutes into the second quarter, it's Brooks in the backcourt. Here's the 3 again. Murphy keeps it alive. Murphy, the kind of player, just kind of gets in your head. Mitchell covered by Woolridge. Glass. Gerald Glass, who has a career high of 32, and that was against the Lakers. Rasmussen pulls the trigger, and Blair Rasmussen now red hot from the outside. 7 points for Rasmussen. Mitchell, why not? And that's something you did not see before with Minnesota. The guy gets the ball and he has the shot, he'll take it before they pull it out and use the 24-second clock. Jackson rattles the rim, and Chris Jackson with 14. Glass knocking down bodies. Felton should be a travel. And look who's on the back of Felton and received the elbow. Craig Neal, and that's when he's explaining to the referee.
Craig Neal might have seen a little of the high school wrestling championships in McNichols last week. Now we've got bodies all over the floor, and when Felton Spencer gets the rebound.
How bad does Craig Neal want to stay in the NBA? Well, this sequence explains it. It was a nice takedown by Neal. 2 points for the takedown.
And then trying to pick up some riding time, but it's the 3rd personal foul on Craig.
On me, he says. All right, so Craig Neal providing some levity here. 3rd foul on the young player out of Georgia Tech. Wolves lead it by 7. Tyrone Corbin checks back in. Sam Mitchell trying to get on track, has not been able to. He has scored 20 points or more 5 times in the last 8 games, has Mitchell. And the Nuggets get the ball back. Setting up Denver. It's Neal in the backcourt along with Reggie Williams. Chris Jackson gets a rest. He's high with 14. Up front, Rasmussen, Wolf, and Woolridge. The banging going on inside. Mitchell trying to prevent Orlando Woolridge from getting position. And he had to foul him to do it.
Only the 2nd team foul on the T-Wolves, though, so the Nuggets simply put the ball back in play.
The Nuggets have won 3 times on the road. And this time it is called on Woolridge. Same scenario, different foul.
I think it went against Reggie Williams. Reggie Williams trying to set a pick to spring Orlando free.
It is on Williams, and that is his 3rd. We had given Reggie 1 too many. Mitchell. Sam Mitchell. Another CBA player who is making it in the NBA with the Timberwolves.
And the last 3 games, Paul Westhead has seen the same thing happen to his club, staying close early, but then in the 2nd period, the opposition goes on a run, and Timberwolves up by 9. He's going to stop it right here.
College basketball action will be coming this lead. Craig Neal off the screen of Rasmussen. And it goes to Woolridge. Several of the Timberwolves collapse on him. Drew Richardson on the run with his head up all the time. Campbell for three. And the long rebound right into the hands of Mitchell. Nuggets victories on the road have come against Sacramento, Charlotte, and Milwaukee. 3 wins in 25 road games. Mitchell way off the line. Spencer gets away with a push. And the reset of the 24-second clock.
These rims must really be tight, Al, because every missed long shot really bounds out of there, and the Nuggets are going to have to make an adjustment to that, start blocking out farther on the floor.
Spencer again gets away with a shove to the back of Rasmussen. 5 minutes into the second quarter. Timberwolves with the ball and the 9-point lead. It's Richardson and Campbell, Mitchell, Corbin, and Spencer. Wolves dominating the boards. A lot of those on those long rebounds on the offensive end. They have called that foul on Neal. And that is number 4 on Craig Neal in the first half. Bill Musselman has called a timeout. 6:51 left in the first. This is the legend that MC Hammer and Vanilla Ice have followed. That young man over the age of 70 and dancing up a storm. Let's see MC Hammer doing that when he turns 70. A foul was called on the inbounds on Jerome Lane.
Jerome's 3rd offensive rebound already.
10-point lead for Minnesota. Sam Mitchell gets in the way. 2-on-1. Richardson. And Campbell connects for 15 points. A nice assist for Pooh. And the Wolves now by a dozen. Woolridge. He gets hit. Woolridge really paying the price every time he goes inside.
Well, the Timberwolves realizing that Woolridge is one of the few Nuggets that can really hurt him inside. So when he gets the ball in the paint, 2 or 3 Timberwolves come running. The foul by Orlando knocks the glasses down on the bridge of the nose. One of the problems that Orlando was having with the goggles was the perspiration was causing the goggles to fog up. So you see the little addition on the top of the goggles there that rests against the forehead. Supposed to keep that from happening.
You know, Dan, I've noticed each game you're pointing out these little additions on his goggles. Before long, Orlando's going to be wearing a helmet. 11-point lead for Minnesota. Corbin races it down. It won't count. The charge is called on Corbin.
And the thing that Tyrone's arguing about, he's saying that Blair was under the basket. In the NBA, you can't take a charge under the basket. Blair back pretty far, but he's out in front of that basket. Good call by the official, Bruce Alexander.
The Nuggets' Achilles heel last few games has been early in the second period. They fall behind by about 6-7 points. And Miami and in New Jersey, those teams get off to quick runs early in the second. That's what the Nuggets have to watch out for right here. But the Wolves have built it up to 11.
Well, you know, you play these teams that don't win very often, Alan. When they see themselves up by 15, 20 points in the second quarter, you're going to have an awful hard time coming back against them.
Shot clock is down to 2. And Mitchell cans it as the buzzer goes on. Against Denver.
Orlando trying to get the basketball back. Shoves the T-Wolf aside. We'll take another look at it right there. See Orlando's right elbow pushing Tyrone Corbin.
Over the limit, the Nuggets. Tyrone Corbin will have a couple of shots. A reminder, stay tuned at the end of the game. Dan and I will be selecting the Budweiser player of the game.
Paul calling the next offensive play.
Corbin putting the big numbers up against the Nuggets. Saturday night against Utah, he scored 24 points. Jackson wheels and then is blocked from behind. Jackson looking around for the foul, but doesn't get it.
Craig Neal back in the game for Denver, replacing Marcus.
Well, Craig Neal with 4 personal fouls comes back in.
You can't tell me that a man with this kind of ability, Al, is not going to make it in the NBA. All Chris needs is just a little bit more experience.
That is pointed out earlier. You also have to remember this would be Jackson's junior year. And he's still been averaging 21 points a game as a starter. But back on the other end, the Minnesota Timberwolves are starting to expand this lead.
You talked earlier, Al, about the mutiny caused by the Timberwolves players, and I'm not so sure they weren't right all along. This is a pretty fast break. 3 passes, Mitchell with the lay-in, and he's fouled.
Sam Mitchell is averaging 14 points per ball game. He has 11 already, and the Timberwolves are on a 13-3 run. Jackson wastes little time to put it up. Hustles in. Only the 3rd field goal for Orlando tonight. He has 11 points.
And with the 3 personal fouls, Felton Spencer really not very aggressive defensively on that play.
And you wonder, with a 15-point lead, guy has 3 fouls, 4.5 to go. Why does Musselman keep Spencer on the floor? Neal runs away from Campbell. The left-hand dribble goes off of Woolridge, but recovered by Craig Neal. Jackson steps inside. The floater, beauty. Chris Jackson showing some awesome offensive moves in this first half, and he has 16. Career high 35 for Jackson. Had that recently in Orlando. Tony Campbell rattles the rim, and it's a big first half for Campbell, 17 points.
And a problem that has really haunted the Nuggets all season long, Al. The Timberwolves shooting 54% from the field right now.
Timberwolves for the season, 2nd worst shooting team in the NBA at 44%. This one goes against Minnesota.
I think it's going to go against Corbin.
Yes.
Setting a screen on the baseline, trying to pick and free Tony Campbell.
Second foul on Corbin. Jerome Lane goes out. Joe Wolf comes in. Well, you figure you're going up against a Musselman team that averages 98 points per ball game. Here they are with 61 points already, and we still have 3:20 to go at halftime. But all you have to do is look at some of the last few games by the Joe Wolf. 2 Nuggets fight one another. Woolridge stays with it, and he's called for traveling. Nuggets played Miami, that averages 102 points a game. They scored 141. They played the Nets, who are averaging 102 points a game, and the Nets scored 138.
And Orlando, again, the only Nugget able to score inside. Most of the offense coming from the perimeter.
3 minutes to go in the first half. Corbin. Craig Neal gets the ball down in a hurry. One bounce to Wolf. Corbin fires it out to Richardson. 4-on-2. Spencer barrels down the lane.
I don't think that's who Pooh was throwing it to. I think he wanted Sam Mitchell to come away with that pass.
And the beauty whipped by Jackson to Joe Wolf. 61-50 in favor of Minnesota.
The Nuggets can get this margin to single digits by halftime. Al, that would be a big victory of sorts for them.
And Denver will talk it over. That's exactly what they will be consulting with their coach about.
Game. Last time the Nuggets had an extended homestand, they went on a 6-game winning streak.
And of course the Nuggets going through such woes right here this week without Adams, and the whole picture can quickly turn around once Michael is back in the lineup. 2 minutes to go in the first half. Jackson eyeball to eyeball with Campbell. 8 on the shot clock. Jackson is trapped. 3 seconds. Cook's got to put it up. Rasmussen keeps it alive. Wolves led by as many as 17. They were up 59 to 42 at one point. Nuggets on an 8-2 run since then. Murphy in low. And it is missed by Doug West, the second-year man out of Villanova. Neal right into the hands of Jackson. Swish.
And Craig Neal is no Michael Adams, but Al, in this first half, he has made some moves to the paint and been able to kick it out. I remember that play and 2 previous passes to Blair for open jumpers.
Chris Jackson, 8 of 16 in 13 minutes in the first half, has 18 points. Tony Campbell has 19 points to lead the way. Again, Neal crashes to the floor. It's either easy to pick a nickname. It's either Kamikaze Craig or Crash Craig. Watch out if you're sitting with some popcorn. Oh!
But Craig made one big mistake there, Al. Nuggets not in the penalty situation. He passed it off instead of throwing it up to the backboard. So, again, no free throws. Nuggets will inbound the ball.
Scott Brooks coming back in. And Tony Campbell leaves. Number 19 goes out with 19 points.
These 2 CBAers are fun to watch. Neither one of them want to go back to the bus trips. They like flying first class. Same problem the Nuggets had against the Celtics. Bench being outscored badly by Boston.
Orlando Woolridge finding that he is never alone. Double team there. Orlando, before he was injured, was certainly recognizing the double team and kicking the ball out. But he has not been looking for that pass, and he's paying the price. He may find that he'll have more room once he starts moving the ball around.
What happens, Al, you get into these streaks when you're not playing well and you're recognized as a leader on the floor. You're the leading scorer. Sometimes you take a little too much upon your own shoulders and try to win the game single-handedly.
That foul is on Mitchell, his 3rd. Orlando Woolridge 7 of 8 from the foul line. There's the time remaining in the first half. Brooks wide open. West. The whistle blows and the foul is inside against Denver. Blair Rasmussen picking up his 2nd personal foul. Watch the action in low.
Doug West comes away with the offensive rebound. Blair trying not to draw the foul, but he knew as soon as he heard the whistle it was on him.
Doug West, 2nd year out of Villanova, 2nd round pick. 3rd all-time leading scorer in Wildcat history. Actually started Saturday night against Utah. Bill Musselman trying to shake a few things up. Only plays about 10 minutes a game, averages 4 points per. 30 seconds left, and the Nuggets bring the ball down, trailing by 10. Yes, off wheels, and then off balance, and not find the basket. Last shot situation for Minnesota. Well, last time the Nuggets faced the Timberwolves, they were down by as many as 18 in the first half and came back. Tonight they were down by as much as 17. Pooh Richardson has had a very quiet 2nd period. 8 points for Pooh. Woolridge, this is for 3. That may have been considered goaltending. That ball was on its way down as Murphy came up. But that ends the first half of play. Record-breaking proportions on the scoreboard for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Team that has, in its franchise history, averaged around 98 points a game, have 66 here at halftime. But the Nuggets cut it from a 117-point deficit. The Nuggets led by Chris Jackson with 18. Orlando Woolridge has 13 points. Tony Campbell leads the way for the Wolves with 19 at halftime. Starting the second half, the Nuggets have a 12-point mountain to climb. And they start the half with Chris Jackson in the backcourt along with Reggie Williams. Williams with 4 personal fouls. And up front is Blair Rasmussen, Joe Wolf, and Orlando Woolridge. The Timberwolves counter with Richardson in the backcourt along with Campbell. There's Williams sweeping it away. Down by Spencer. Felton Spencer, the rookie from Louisville, up front with Todd Murphy and Tyrone Corbin.
Even though he has those 4 personal fouls, Williams very aggressive going to the offensive boards.
The Wolves looking to go a game over the 500 mark at home. They are 11 and 11. Rasmussen in between 2 Wolves grabs the rebound. Felton Spencer has 3 personal fouls for Minnesota. Wheeling is Williams. He gets his own rebound. Goes up again. Cannot connect. Woolridge with 3 Wolves around him. Does it with the left hand. And Woolridge gets smacked in the face. Good thing he's wearing those goggles now. He's got to be thinking that right around the eye area.
And Orlando's down on one knee. Meanwhile, the Timberwolves go to the boards.
Orlando doesn't know quite what to do right now, and he gets into the flow. And finally, there's a foul. Joe Wolf, his second personal, and now Woolridge takes the goggles off. The detached retina, if you recall, was the right eye. Orlando holding the left side of his face. Now we'll see what happened inside. Orlando Woolridge, the ball will kick out to him. Was it the ball that smacked him in the face, or was it?
I think it's still coming up. Right there it was. It was Tony Campbell reaching around and hitting Orlando in the side of the head. And the Timberwolves have an injury too. Tyrone Corbin holding his left arm down at his side as trainer Larry Franca checks out Woolridge.
Orlando Woolridge, Dan, finding out what it means to be one of the top 5 scorers in the NBA. Really getting extra attention all night long. There have been 2, 3 Timberwolves all over him.
It was amazing that after Orlando was smacked in the side of the face, he went on and was able to score with the left-handed shot.
Blair Rasmussen saying, how many fingers do I have up? Well, it just shows Minnesota has not recorded the knockout yet on Orlando Woolridge. 10-point lead for the Timberwolves. The Nuggets, Big O at 6'9" and 215 pounds, averaging 28 points per ball game. Meanwhile, back at the other end, it is Todd Murphy who will have a couple of shots. Originally a 3rd-round draft pick by Seattle in 1986. Was cut by the Sonics, played 1 game with the Los Angeles Clippers before going to Europe. Spencer on the seat of his pants, and he's called for the traveling of violations. Spencer, the rookie out of Louisville.
Felton was sandwiched between Orlando and Blair and might have gotten a little assist in that travel.
2 men on Williams. Campbell takes it away, but stop right there, says Joe Forte. Whistles down Minnesota.
Yeah, the foul goes against Pooh Richardson, and Campbell was upset, but Pooh shook his head in agreement with the official.
Second personal foul on Richardson. Joe Wolf backing in on Corbin, and Joe Wolf has got that little hook shot down. Corbin now the other way, over Wolf. In the crowd it is Spencer, but he will be tagged with his 4th. Spencer at 7 feet 265. You could see why Bill Musselman made him his 6th pick. He wanted that muscle inside. Spencer is still considered somewhat of a project.
Felton's learning, if he hasn't already, that rookies don't get many calls in the end.
Again, Wolf backs Corbin down. 8 points for Joe Wolf.
And Paul Westhead might have found another offensive threat down low.
The Nuggets, once down by 17, have sliced it to 7. Ripped down by Joe Wolf, and here the Nuggets rubbing it up. Chris Jackson, who has yet to take a shot, now he does in the second half. Swish, 20 points for Jackson. Since Adams has been out and Jackson has been starting, last 4 games he's averaging 24 points per, and he's right on that mark. Will pass that tonight if he continues his shooting. Denver gets the ball back. They can move to within 3 with a basket here. 9.5 to go. In the third period, the Nuggets are on a 20-8 run. This is the 3. Swish. Reggie Williams goes downtown, and the Nuggets slice it to 2. Bill Musselman off the bench. He is steaming as he calls a timeout. The Nuggets on a roll. Once down 17. They're within a bucket of the Wolves. 11-1 in this third quarter. Moved to within 2 before Tyrone Corbin sinks that shot. 11 points for Corbin. And the Timberwolves lead it 69-65.
That's about the first time in this half that the Timberwolves really moved the ball around. They were taking outside jump shots much like the Nuggets.
Woolridge smacks it in with the left hand. 3:15 gone by in the third quarter. Timberwolves have won 3 in a row at home, 4 of their last 5. And against such teams as Philadelphia, Utah, and Golden State. Richardson now on the switch, picked up by Woolridge. 6 on the shot clock. Who for 2.
That's what happens when a big guy gets on a guard. Orlando laying off, respecting the speed and quickness of Richardson, who had plenty of room to get the shot off.
Poked away by Murphy. Corbin with the save as he goes flying. Corbin gets up quickly. Dumps it off to Campbell.
Oh, God!
Murphy almost broke the backboard. Woolridge in a crowd, can't get through.
And once again, Orlando switched out on Pooh Richardson.
Wolves beating the Nuggets to the ball. Richardson, hard time. The Philadelphia product has now scored the last couple of hoops. 12 points for Pooh Richardson. Hold it right there, says referee Joe Forte. He blows it down.
Once again, the Nuggets trying to go to the low post to Joe Wolf, and Corbin just grabbed him by the arm and shoved him out of the way.
Third foul on Corbin. Wolf hustling in. He's the open man. Todd Murphy came over to help out, and Wolf was able to read it. And Woolridge now putting together his own little highlight reel. 73-69. Wolves holding the 4-point lead. 7 minutes left in the third here in Minnesota.
Nice movement by the Timberwolves that time. The Nuggets double teaming the initial pass. Timberwolves found the open man, Felton Spencer.
Reggie Williams squeezes in, and the finger roll.
Speaking of highlight films.
9 points now for Williams. Remember yesterday against the Celtics, Williams heated up in that second half, scoring 16 of his 19 points. Richardson with the fake over Rasmussen. Speaking of heating up, Richardson, who had 8 points at halftime, has added 6 more already. Quickly here in the third. Williams hits his second from downtown. Williams had 4 points at halftime tonight. He has added 8 quickly here in the third. 12 now for Reggie Williams. Corbin wide open. And he has shown that he can make that shot.
And the Nuggets defense double teaming initially, Al, but the Timberwolves doing a good job finding the open man.
They go to the hot man, Williams. thought he was fouled. Now it's Richardson on the run. He stops. He pumps. Spencer holding Wolf, gets away with it, and Spencer draws the foul. It will send Felton Spencer to the line.
And the foul number 41, Blair Rasmussen.
Third foul on Blair Rasmussen. 5:34 left in the third. Paul Westhead looking for his team to snap his 5-game losing streak.
That was a veteran move that time by Spencer. He got the offensive rebound, Al, on the left-hand side, but to screen off Blair from the basketball, ducked under and went up on the right side. Rasmussen fouled him.
Sam Mitchell checking back in for Minnesota. Murphy gets a seat. Quite a bit of playing time tonight for Spencer, making his 27th start of the season. And he has 8 points. Go along with 8 rebounds. 5.5 to go. Jackson for 3. It's run down by Jerome Lane. Jackson got hit in the eye. Trying to shake it off as Williams slices in. Richardson on the run. One bounce to Corbin.
Nuggets need a timeout here. Need to stop this run right now.
Nuggets have moved to within 2. Jackson, the quick move to get away. Spencer, another rebound. Richardson fires. Saved by Jackson, but he's hawked by Richardson. Step for step. Woolridge. 21 points for Orlando Woolridge. He is now the high scorer for the Nuggets. This Jackson 1 point behind. Richardson slowing it down. Starts inside, stripped of the ball, but it's last touched by the Nuggets. And Chris Jackson now will be getting a breather. He goes out with 20 points, 2 here in the third quarter, and he was hit in the eye in that last sequence. He'll be attended to by trainer Larry Franca as he comes to the bench. Greg Neal now on top of Richardson. Mitchell wastes little time putting it up. Grabbed down by Rasmussen. Nuggets on the run. Flying is Craig Neal. Into the hands of the hot man, Williams. Coming down to 4 minutes on the nose in the third quarter. Timberwolves 83, the Nuggets 76. Williams gets decked by Felton. Felton should have fouled out by now. He has gotten away with at least 3 fouls. Hard drive by Woolridge. And Orlando Woolridge now taking charge for the Nuggets. He has 23 points, 10 of them in the third.
Richardson's going to slow the pace of the game down a little bit as the Nuggets make a little run of their own.
Rasmussen again fends off Spencer. Greg Neal taking a look. He scoots inside but can't connect. Richardson. Spencer all alone, but Campbell didn't see him. 3-on-1. Williams all the way.
Game starting to look like noon at the YMCA.
Nuggets cannot collect the 3-on-1. And Richard comes down and buries that one. For Richardson, with 8 points in the first half, he's added 8 more here in the third quarter. The Nuggets have called the time with 2:43 to go in the third. 2 minutes, 38 seconds left. Nuggets hot shooting in the third quarter. It's a 7-point game. The throwaway by Orlando Woolridge.
The Nuggets up to 48% for the game, Al, and that's a little closer to where they're going to have to be to have a shot to win here.
Denver once down by 17 in the first half. Tough shot by Campbell, but the bounce off the rim goes to Corbin. He's called for traveling.
got to be killing that man. Coach Musselman likes to walk the ball up the court, make 5 or 6 passes. He's got a 7-point lead, but this isn't the way he likes to play.
Yes, why did he compromise his tradition, strategy? And there are many around here in Minnesota felt that that's what he had to do to survive as coach of the Minnesota Timberwolves.
But you know, he won a little internal battle, he and former Nugget Billy McKinney.
That one counts. Joe Wolf in double figures with 10. And Joe Wolf continues to show feisty form on the floor.
Nice spin move to the baseline and gets the shoulder in front. Corbin, a nice move, and Joe Wolf will have a chance for the 3-point play.
And that's the 4th foul on Corbin, who is probably the valuable player on this Timberwolves team, along with Pooh Richardson. So Corbin goes to the bench, replaced by Todd Murphy. Wolf for the 3-point play. 11 points for Joe Wolf. Some pressure. The rookie Gerald Glass off to Brooks, back to Glass.
Nice play by Brooks. He took it all the way under, made Joe Wolf commit to him, and dropped it off the glass for the easy lay-in.
6-point lead for Minnesota. Down to a minute and a half in the 3rd. Wolf lets it fly, and he is crashed to the floor this time. They finally got Spencer. He is hit with his 5th foul. If we watch the tape over again closely, he probably has more like 10 tonight.
Well, there was no doubt about that one. He put Joe Wolf between the cracks in the floor after Joe got the jumper off.
And the game that Spencer has played, he is probably worshipped by Bill Musselman. This should have counted for 2 right here.
He got his money's worth on that one.
So Joe Wolf, if he could still continue to breathe, will take the foul shot. 13 points for Wolf as he makes those 2. Now it's Randy Brewer in the middle. Brewer at 16 boards against the Nuggets back in January. And 15 to go in the 3rd. Nuggets 4 points behind. 4 on the shot clock. Scott Brooks has 8 points. That's twice his average.
Little floater reminiscent of the way Michael Adams gets it over the big people and off the glass.
Lane takes it in on Brewer and throws it right into the crowd. Here is Brooks at 5'11". Hands it off and gets an assist. Sam Mitchell with 13 points. Brooks making it happen in his cameo appearances.
Well, he's a nice player to bring off the bench. Really gives the Wolves a spark, and now they're on another break.
A run here by Minnesota. They were up by only 4 moments ago. Basket here, it'll be 10.
And they're doing it primarily with their bench people.
There's one starter on the floor, Todd Murphy.
Glass one-on-one with Jackson. Gets to the middle of the floor. Glass is a 64% free throw shooter. Drills the first one.
And the 20th pick in the first round out of Mississippi, Gerald Glass with 8 points. And the Wolves lead grows to 10. Once again, Nuggets with the ball, under 24 seconds to go, not holding for the last shot.
And once again, when Orlando gets the ball in the middle, he draws the crowd. Mitchell there. Here comes Brewer and Murphy. And the foul was on Todd Murphy.
Well, Michael Adams in the scoring list, the top 10 scorers. And once Orlando Woolridge gets a few more games under his belt, he will fit nicely in that 4th spot. Orlando averaging shade over 28 points per ball game. He's 7 of 9 from the foul line tonight. 10, and that's exactly what he's shooting for the season, 80%. But it leaves Minnesota with more than enough time to put up 2. Mitchell one-on-one with Woolridge. Forces, not a good shot. Wolf gives it a run. Remember earlier in the year preseason, Joe Wolf hit one from 88 feet in a game against Phoenix. That's the end of the third quarter. Looking for a dunk. He was in the mascot slam dunk contest. He's an arch rival of Rocky. Yesterday at McNichols Arena, Rocky going one further. I'll do it blindfolded. He's off and oh! Somebody got to explain what in your face means to Rocky. The Nuggets outscoring the Timberwolves in the third quarter, and that goes for 3.
And that ball, Scotty Brooks hit every part of the rim before it dropped in.
His second three-pointer of the evening. His 19th of the season in 57 attempts. Brooks gets the foul, his third. Scotty Brooks has not been seeing much time lately. But right now is headache number 61 to Paul Westhead.
That's because Pooh Richardson never goes to the bench. Last Saturday against Utah, Richardson played the entire 48.
Greg Neal that time going to the hoop. Richardson has gone the distance on 6 occasions this year. 48 minutes in 6 games. Todd Murphy. Murphy, who has missed 29 games this year with a back injury. He returned 12 games ago. Nice move by Neal. Rasmussen pulls the trigger. Swish.
Very nice move by Neal. He had half of the Nuggets' 10 assists at halftime. Set Blair up that trip.
And right now it is Neal essentially at the point guard and Jackson at the shooting guard. And this is another foul on Neal. Well, he has one more foul to go, and he is gone tonight.
Denver foul number 22, Greg Neal. His fifth personal. First team foul.
The Nuggets with Neal and Jackson, Rasmussen, Williams, and Cook. And for the first time in a long time, Reggie Williams is at the spot they would like him to be, the small forward position. Glass double team. Nuggets daring Brooks to try it again from the outside. Rasmussen rips it down. 12 rebounds for Blair Rasmussen. The turnover goes to Minnesota, leading by 10.
Neal trying to get the bounce pass to Chris Jackson on the backdoor cut. Did Anthony Cook on the footwork.
Glass guarded by Neal, and that is it. For Craig Neal, he has fouled out. And you know how upset he has to be. He wants every minute he can on the floor to prove himself on the 10-day contract. And he now has one more game to go before that 10-day contract expires.
Smart move by Scott Brooks. He realized that that was a tough mismatch for the Nuggets. Neal on Glass, and the fact that Neal had 5 personal fouls.
Seeing some nice moves by the rookie Gerald Glass. He's in double figures with 11 points. Timberwolves lead now expanding, led by as many as 17. It's got it down to 2. Williams right into the hands of Glass. Coast to coast.
Glass that time kept his body between the ball and the defender till the very last minute. He laid it off the glass and in.
6'6" and 220. He has that Mark Aguirre type body. A similar game. Very explosive. 103 to 88 in favor of Minnesota. They have gone on an 18-7 run. Rasmussen is now on target. 11 points to go along with his 12 rebounds. Blair's been hitting his shots. Unfortunately, he's only taken 9 of them. 5 of 9 from the field. Mitchell works it over to Murphy. Brewer hanging with Rasmussen. And it is a foul, number 4 on Blair Rasmussen.
Denver foul number 41, Blair Rasmussen. reversal. His fourth personal.
9:13 left in the fourth quarter. Change is made. Reggie Williams goes out with 12 points and 4 fouls. Anthony Cook has not scored tonight, and he goes to the bench. The Nuggets now realign with Rasmussen in the middle. Woolridge up front with Joe Wolf. Chris Jackson in the backcourt. And Williams stays in there. Williams moves to the guard spot with Jackson. Brewer, a 51% foul shooter on the season. And he'll have 2 more tries.
And that's exactly what he wanted to do, Al. He didn't come close to making those first 2. He barely hit the front of the rim. Pooh Richardson trying to encourage him.
Well, he gets Rasmussen his 5th foul.
Oh!
He's getting further and further. I don't think he's going to be penetrating for the rebound on this one.
They might have to give the people down at that end hard hats. Oh, the first 2 were short. The second 2 were long.
Meanwhile, Rasmussen has his 5th foul. Jackson completes it. Chris Jackson getting in and out of trouble. Now with Rasmussen in foul trouble. It's the 3. Feels as if Paul Westhead will let him stay in there until he gets the 6. We finally be seeing the first of Cadillac Anderson. And now Cadillac does get off the bench.
Nuggets with a chance to cut it back to single digits here.
Jackson, kick in the wrist, swish. That's 24 for Chris Jackson. He has hit 11 shots from the field in 22 attempts. 103-94, Minnesota. Glass backing in on the slender Reggie Williams, right down by Rasmussen, and it's the Nuggets revving it up. Williams throws the foul. Bruce Alexander makes the call. It is against Todd Murphy, his 2nd personal, and a chance for Cadillac Anderson to check in the game for the first time tonight. Blair Rasmussen goes out with 5 personal fouls. Chris Jackson, as we have seen, coming up with some beautiful moves. This one almost out of control, but regains the touch. Reggie Williams hits the first foul shot, and we'll have one more. Todd Murphy. And out goes Randy Brewer. It's the first time I've seen a player miss 4 straight from the foul line get a hand from the hometown crowd.
Well, the reason he got the hand was he won't be able to shoot anymore.
14 points for Reggie Williams. Woolridge and Jackson lead the Nuggets each with 24. Tony Campbell at 19 at halftime still has those 19. And he is the high man for Minnesota. Reggie Williams gets foul number 5.
Wasn't much Reggie could do that time. Corbin got great position right underneath the basket with Reggie Williams on his back. It was either 2 free throws or a lay-in for Corbin.
Minnesota has won 3 straight at home. And they feel if they're going to make a run at 30 wins this season, they're now 16 and 33. They have 9 of the next 10 games on their home floor. They have a chance if they start picking up the victories here at the Target Center. And they will play 19 of their final 33 of the year on their home floor. Jackson a leaner, and Chris Jackson putting on an offensive show. 26 points for the Nugget rookie. 105-98. Nuggets cut it down to 7. Plenty of time left. 7.5 minutes. Pooh Richardson. Mitchell pushing off, gets away with it. And the foul is on Anderson.
Cadillac just couldn't get his feet underneath him. Mitchell doing some spinning in the lane. Really had no place to go with it. Take a look down at the other end of Jackson's last shot. It's a tough shot. Goes up, kind of hangs in the air. One hand off the glass. If there's any benefit of Michael missing these games, maybe we're seeing Chris gain some confidence.
He had more and more comfortable, get into his rhythm. He has not been a streamlined season for the rookie, but he has certainly shown that he can put the points on the board. I would say per minute he has to be the leading scoring rookie in the NBA. Hold it there, says the man under the basket, Joe Borgia. He'll call the foul on Minnesota.
This play is like delayed whistle in hockey. The Nuggets had it in their zone, and the officials waiting to see if the basket went in before they called the foul.
Richardson gets his third. Musselman wants an explanation. And Williams hits his 5th straight foul shot.
That foul took place at the top of the key, and the whistle wasn't blown until the ball was under the basket. 16 points now for Reggie Williams, who's averaging 18 a game in his last 13 as a starter for the Nuggets. Denver creeps to within 6. 7 minutes left. Campbell still looking for his first point in the second half. He forces and hits. 21 points for Tony Campbell, and the Wolves lead it by 8. Stop there, says Bruce Alexander. Points to the foul line, where Orlando Woolridge will go for a couple of shots, but not until we go away for this timeout. 6:48, that's the time remaining. So it does not result in any shots by Orlando Woolridge. The double team on Woolridge. He gets it out to Williams. Anderson way up high for the rebound. This is the 3. Now they're going to say he was on the line. Just a 2-pointer for Jackson.
It was our about 3-point shot game contested here in the 4th quarter. Woolridge gets it out, and there will be a foul. It'll stay there. It's against the Nuggets.
Well, we talked in the opening, Al, about the Nuggets staying competitive and giving themselves a chance to win this game down the stretch. That's something that you can't let happen. 6 minutes left to go in the game. You've got to make sure you block people off the boards. Make sure the Wolves don't get any second opportunity.
Jerome Lane is here in the ball game down the stretch. First half, he played only 9 minutes, but he had 6 rebounds and 5 off the offensive boards. 19 points now for Tyrone Corbin. He has 8 rebounds to go along with the 19 points. 6 minutes still remaining. The Wolves have never beaten the Nuggets in 7 tries. Anderson, the finger roll. Jerome Lane keeps it alive. And it's saved by Minnesota. Steal by Williams. He squeezes in. And Reggie Williams coming alive in the second half. He had 4 points at halftime. He now has 18.
Exactly the same thing yesterday afternoon. A cold shooting first half, but warming up in the second.
Lane scraps for it. Corbin saves. Campbell is called for the foul. Campbell leading with a forearm. And a long look at the referee, Bruce Alexander.
But he can look all he wants. This is a correct call. Another scramble for the ball, and Timberwolves barely saving it on the baseline. When Campbell goes up, watch him wipe out Cadillac with the offhand.
Nuggets get cut at the 4. Woolridge twisting, turning, gets hit, and it is good. The basket counts, and he is fouled.
That's just great concentration. This is the second time tonight Orlando gets hammered the side of the head. You know he's got to be a little touchy with those goggles anyway. Right there's the foul, but watch him go up and concentrate, complete the play, the chance to get the Nuggets within 3.
5th personal foul on Tyrone Corbin. Woolridge marching closer to his average per ball game. Nine field goals, 8 of 11 from the foul line. For Orlando Woolridge, 26 points, along with 8 rebounds. Wolves with the ball on a 4-point lead. 5 minutes on the nose left in the 4th. Corbin from behind, blocked by Anderson. Cadillac, who had 6 blocked shots earlier this week in a game against Miami.
Cadillac has really been a force defensively when he's gotten any playing time at all, and a pretty block from the backside.
Murphy misses the shot. Anderson with the rebound. Jackson fires to Woolridge. Got it. 28 for Woolridge, and the Nuggets creep to within 2.
And now the Nuggets really have the advantage because they have a go-to guy in Orlando. Minnesota really doesn't have that person.
Mitchell ducks under Anderson. He's clobbered. And Woolridge pointing to Mitchell, saying that he was hit first. But Orlando does not win. He gets the foul.
Yeah, it's usually a pretty good tip-off when one guy's laying on the floor and the other one's pointing at him. That the foul was on Orlando.
Sam Mitchell getting a chance last year with Minnesota. Third-round draft pick by Houston in 1985. Spent a couple of years in the CBA. Played in France for 2 years.
And Musselman knew exactly what Mitchell was. They signed Sam Mitchell to a multi-year contract before he even tried out for the Timberwolves.
112-108 in favor of Minnesota. Williams passes on the dribble. Lane. Now it's the fast break. Richardson flips the needle to Corbin.
What a pass by Drew Richardson.
And it brings the house down. 19,006 explode at the Target Center. Minnesota with a 6-point lead, trying to hold off the challenge of the Nuggets. Timeout with just under 4 minutes to go.
Al, Jerome Lane has 8 offensive rebounds in this game, but only 2 baskets.
Chris Jackson looks for 30. Pushing off was Woolridge. And he has his 4th personal foul.
And the Timberwolves in the penalty situation. So Sam Mitchell go to the free throw line at the other end. Blair checks in with the 5 personal fouls. And the Cadillac man, pretty nice effort.
Sam Mitchell shoots 1 personal penalty. 2 shots for the
Nuggets tonight being outshot from the foul line, but getting there a little more than usual. Mitchell will have Bear. That shot missed by Jackson. He had hit his last 4. Minnesota looking for their 5th win in their last 6 games at home. 18 points for Sam Mitchell off the bench. He averages 14 a game. So the Timberwolves have scored the last 6. It was 110-108 Minnesota. And the Nuggets breathing hard down the Timberwolves back. Now it's an 8-point lead. Just 5 on the shot clock. And 3:20 left in the ball game.
That's another tough shot by Chris. The Nuggets now in a situation they can't squander an opportunity, Al. They're going to have to score about every trip.
Nuggets back home Thursday night against Portland Trailblazers. Dumped off by Campbell with 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Tyrone Corbin becomes the high man for Minnesota with 23. Woolridge had the right idea. He saw Jerome Lane inside. All alone, but only for the split second.
Joe Wolf comes in the game for Denver, replacing Jerome Lane.
Joe Wolf goes in and Jerome Lane goes out with the 9 rebounds, 8 on the offensive board. Wolf with a little hook. And he comes in off the bench cold and gets hot in a hurry. 15 points now for Joe Wolf.
And now, Al, with the 8-point lead, look for the Timberwolves to be a little more deliberate than they have been the majority of this game.
They go back to the style of year number 1. And that wasn't deliberate, but he still hit it. That was a bad shot by Campbell, but he scores, and he has 23 points. Minnesota's outscored the Nuggets 10-2. Woolridge looking for 30. He got in. For Richardson. Murphy pulls it back. Smart move by Todd Murphy. Coming down to 2 minutes on the nose. seconds to shoot. Sam Mitchell hits the 20 mark. 3 Timberwolves with 20 or more. Campbell and Corbin lead the way, each with 23.
Can't afford to take much time off the clock now. You've got to go right to it.
Both teams looking to snap 5-game losing streaks. Timberwolves doing it all on the road from behind. Swipe by Campbell. Richardson one-on-one with Williams. And Bill Richardson is up to 18, and that should just about do it. With under a minute and a half to go, and the lead stretched out to 14 points. Jackson hits the 30 mark for the 3rd time this season. 124 to 112. Nuggets against Portland Thursday night at McNichols Arena. Saturday night, it's the Golden State Warriors coming in. Pumped away by Woolridge. All looking forward to seeing Walter Davis Thursday night, again as a Trailblazer. Upstairs goes Mitchell to give Minnesota another 24 seconds to tick off the clock.
They won't take a shot now unless the clock's under 24-second clock is under 5.
And when you think of it, that's the way they played every time down last year. Well, the shot clock was exactly at 5 when Campbell gets to the foul line. That's the 5th personal foul on Woolridge. Really went through the gauntlet tonight. Woolridge afforded superstar status by the Minnesota Timberwolves, as he was never guarded by just one man.
And right now, Orlando having a nice discussion with Bruce Alexander. He thought that foul, the play that he got blocked on from behind, was a foul.
30 points for Jackson. Woolridge is 1 field goal away from 30. Again, the triple team. Richardson is gone. Richardson becomes the 4th Timberwolf to hit the 20 mark. Woolridge wants the 30 and finally gets it. 2 Nuggets have hit 30. Woolridge and Jackson dribbling it out now. Minnesota, and for the first time in their short history, will have beaten the Denver Nuggets after 7 straight defeats. The Nuggets in this ballgame all the way. Once down by 17, cut it down to 2 on many occasions, but have lost for their 6th straight time.